Well, you guys have been telling me for a long time to get rid of my ATN HDs and 4Ks and try something a little bit different. And for the last God knows how many months you've been telling me, look at the PARDs, the PARD NV008. Steve, you've got to try it. I did. And you know what? I love it. Keep watching, I'll tell you exactly what I think of it.
Don't forget to visit www.ergonology.com. On there you'll find all of our social media links and forums and 3D printed sections. Facebook group is there for you to discuss anything you want to do with air rifles, air pistols and technology. Our dedicated forum where you can buy and sell anything that you want with regards to air rifles and air pistols. As well as our 3D printed section where you'll find the cradles that you can purchase for the chronographs for FX and the ATN ballistic rangefinders. Hi there YouTubers, it's Steve here with another video from Ergonology. As always, we do videos on air rifles, air pistols and technology, and today we are talking about the PARD NV008, and I'm not going to keep saying that, we're going to call it the PARD 8 from now on. But yes, here it is. Many of you have loved my series on the ATN HDs, and I haven't done them on the 4Ks, but you've been talking many times on the 4Ks, and loads of you for the last 6 or so months are saying, Steve, get a hold of a PARD, get a hold of a PARD, get a hold of a PARD. Well, I've got the PARD. I've got the PARD 8 here, and it is directly a competitor to the HD, the ATN HDs and 4Ks, most definitely. It also competes against the Yukon Photons as well. So what's so special about this little unit? Well, I've just pretty much said it. Look at the size of it. It's titchy. Without the battery, it's only 450 grams, and it literally fits in the palm of your hand. For those that really want to know, 162 by 54 by 69 millimeters. Titchy. How is it powered? In here, there is one 18650 battery, and that will last 6 to 8 hours without the IR torch, but the IR torch on it will go down a little bit on there. But it is a rechargeable 18650, so you can unscrew the cap up here, pop it out, pop a new one in, no problems at all. Absolutely brilliant. So none of this running out of batteries or anything like that. It is actually, as we said, a digital scope. So unlike a normal scope where you look through pieces of glass and you're looking at the real thing, what you're looking at here is effectively a mobile phone screen. In here is a camera sensor which turns the image into an LCD screen, and you look at that through the eyepiece. Then you get digital reticles put in place over the top with information on the screen, just like you're used to with your mobile phone. Absolutely brilliant. Talking about mobile phones, because it's a computer in here, they can update it whenever they want. You can download a new BIOS on here. There's an SD card in there. You can update the BIOS, and you can connect it up to your mobile phone and look at the live video feed and record it from your mobile phone as well. So obviously there's all new fandankly computer systems. Yeah, it has its advantages, most definitely. So this scope is, like I said, it's titchy. It is a day and night scope, so it's full color and it is full HD when it records, because what you have in here, I've taken the end cap off so that you can see in there, is in there you have an SD card. It can go up to a 32 gig SD card, and it can take pictures. It can take pictures up to 2592 times 1944 pixels, or it can do full HD video, proper 1920 1080, unlike the ATN HD, which claimed it was HD and it wasn't, and the 4K that claims it's 4K and it isn't. It's all clever marketing. No, this is proper HD at 30 frames a second. I've checked it, I've tested it, it works, and it is crisp and gorgeous to look at. Now when you look through here, you're looking at a 800 by 600 pixel screen, and you can focus it through the front here. There's a front focal here where you can change it, and you can change the focus, and at the back you can change your eye focus as well. And talking about the focus and stuff like that, it has by default 6.5 zoom, and then when you press a button it goes up to 13 zoom, so you're either at 6.5 or 13 by pressing the button. As simple as that. So there's a lot of stuff packed into this little bad boy, but it comes in two versions as well. You can get the PARD NV008, which realistically you're looking, I've done some price checking around as September 19, you're looking at anywhere between £550 to £600 brand spanking new. But you can get the laser finder version, which is called the PARD NV008 LRF, standing for laser rangefinder, and that runs at about £800 to £850, and they built a rangefinder into it as well. Very useful. So yeah, really nice little features on here. It also, let me just run through some of the other features it's got. So basically you can change your reticles, you can change the color of your reticles, you can record video, take pictures. It has a red dot laser as well that you can use. You can do two-shot zeroing through it all. I'm just looking through my list here. The IR torch on here is good out to 150 to 200 yards. I've tested it. It is. If you want to go further, then obviously you can put an external torch on there. And it's got Wi-Fi. I think I mentioned the Wi-Fi, where you can connect it up to your Android or Apple phone and look at the video and basically record it, etc. like that. So yeah, it also comes with this rather fandankly weaver type system that also you can put onto standard 11mm dovetails with a couple of little adapters that they give you in here. So all fully set up. All you got to do is clip it onto your rail system, set it up, get your eye release sorted out, get it ready, two-shot zoom it, two-shot zero it, and off you go.
Alright guys, so we're outside and we've got the HW100 bullpup. It's sat in a rifle stand at the moment, and it's got the PARD 8 on top of it. Now, I've got quite an elaborate display, so I'm just going to show you a few pictures, but basically what I've got is the HDMI output, the mini, from the PARD, plugged through capture device into my laptop, and I'm using OBS Studio here to basically show you what you would see on the PARD. The downside with this is when you plug into the HDMI, it takes the view from the viewfinder and pushes it through the actual USB capture device through the HDMI cable, and you can't actually see anything through here. So I'm having to look at the computer screen, so bear with me. Nice thing about this is I get to show you exactly how this all works. So quite simply, at the moment, hopefully on screen now, you can see our targets downrange, and this is the view through in the color operation of the PARD 8 at the moment. So I'm just going to walk through some of the buttons on here. So we've got the Q button. If I press the Q button 1, at the moment we're in 6x zoom. If I press it again, it will take me to the 13.5x zoom of the PARD. Nice and simple. Press it again, out it comes. Then we have the rangefinder button. Now if you press it once, it will actually start to try to range for you if you've got the rangefinder version of this. The software is the same on both the non-rangefinder and the rangefinder version of the PARD 8. So basically it's the same software. This is the latest software as of September 19. If I press it again, it will switch that off. Now if I press and hold the rangefinder button, this is what activates the recording. Now I've got this also set up to sound recording as well. So I'm going to hit this and record. And you know, it's very easy actually when you're operating those buttons to nudge that focus wheel. It's so simple. Right, so I'm going to hit record now. So we should see in the top left hand side, we've now got a red flashing circle showing that I'm recording 5-6 seconds. So hopefully this is now recording my voice. Now I'm sat behind the rifle like this, so we'll see what sort of sound recording. I'm just going to cut the audio between the two. Hopefully you can see what that's like. So you're probably right now listening to me on the camera, and then I'll flip it across onto what the PARD's actually picking up. So we'll just stop that recording on there by pressing and holding the same button again, and the recording has stopped. The next button you have is the IR button. Now if you press the IR button once, twice, 3 times, 4 times, etc., it will turn on the IR mode and switch the power, the intensity of the IR torch up or down. Very, very handy. But if you press and hold it while you're in color mode, it will flip you straight into IR mode, which is obviously very, very handy. And you might need to change the focus a little bit on it. I'm going to press and hold it again to come back into daytime color mode. And you can hear the little filter flipping up and down, the IR filter flipping.
Let's just get that a little bit of focus. And then we have the menu button. Now if I press that menu button once, look very carefully at the bottom between the two targets on the tree trunk. Hopefully you can see a red dot just appear. So that's a red dot laser, sort of useful. If I press it again, it will switch off. So what I'm going to do now is walk you through the menu system. So if I press and hold the menu button, what will happen is the menu will pop up. There we go. And now I can use the up and down buttons. Now these buttons, you get very used to them. You sort of learn how, a bit like touch typing, you work out where they are. So this, like I said, this is the very, very latest software from September 2019 downloaded onto this. So this is picture-in-picture. To be honest, I don't know how that works at the moment. We have reticle adjustments. So if I go OK on that, now what I can do is I can come across and if I press the OK button, I can change the style. So now I can go up and down. We'll see now that the style of the reticle is changing. So these are the reticles, so there's none there. You can see a reticle there. Different types of reticle that are available as of September 2019. We'll go back to the basic one, that one there. The colours you get at the moment are just two colours, red or yellow. And then you can save your settings here. If I hit save, yes. But you also use that section for zeroing, which I'll show you in a minute on how to do that. Let's go into the menu now. And we'll go down. Default magnification. How would you like the unit to start up? 6.5 or 13? Of course, most people will probably select 6.5. The default color that you want the unit to come on to. The brightness of the IR that you want the unit to come onto when you set it up. Do you want it full brightness, medium, etc.? Brightness of the screen you can set, so if it's too bright at night time in your eyepiece, you can change that. We'll come down. We've got the rangefinder unit selection, so obviously if you've got the rangefinder version, you can come into here and you can change it from meters to yards. Auto recording, so you can switch this on or off. So this is like a recoil, a bit like the ATN Night Sights. Probably won't work very well with 177 air rifles, but we'll leave that switched off. Loop recording, basically if it starts to run out of SD card space, it will loop round itself. Date time, oops, yeah, we'll switch that. We'll leave that off. In fact, we're going to go and switch that off actually. The date stamp, so you can change your date. Do you want to record audio? Yes or no. So I've got it switched to on. Do you want the unit to beep to you? Why would you want that? I have no idea. What's it set to? It's set to on. I'll tell you what, we'll switch that off. And then we can come down, connect to Wi-Fi. So this will basically set up its own little Wi-Fi hotspot. You can then download the app through your mobile phone or tablet. You can then view what's on screen, capture the pictures, grab the pictures, change the settings, pretty much like the ATN Night Sights. All quite handy, very, very nice. If we move down now, exposure, this is how bright the screen is, how much light it is, so it changes the iris a little bit. So if we come in here, we can change how do we want it. So if you're finding the image is too dark, you can up the exposure. Language, self-explanatory. Date time, setting the date time up on the unit itself. Format the SD card, and then back to default settings, and then your version. And you'll see here's the version that we've got as of 2019. In fact, it's the 8th, 21st of the 8th, so it's late August, early September version that I've got on here. So that's basically the menu system and how it all works. So what I'm going to do now is we're going to go into and get this thing zeroed up. To do that, obviously, we're going to need some pallets. So I've got a pallet here. So what I'm going to do is I've just messed around with the settings on this at the moment. So I'm just going to come out of the menu system. I'm going to take a shot, we'll zoom in and we'll see where the shot is. Then I'll show you how the zeroing works. Right, now obviously this is a little bit difficult. I've got to look at the computer screen to do this. So I'm just going to come up and we're going to go for the very center of one of those targets. And we'll zoom in by pressing the Q button. Makes life a little bit easier. And we can see there that we've actually gone high and right. So the top right, high and left. So the top leftmost target, you can just see a little hole there. So what I'm going to do now is I'm going to use the two-shot zeroing functionality of this. To do that, we go into the menu settings, and then we go down to the reticle adjustment. We click OK until we get into the X. Now, it's important to keep this thing as stable as possible, ideally in the gun rest. So I'm going to keep this as close as I can to the center of where I was actually aiming for, and I'm going to hit the OK button. In fact, I'm going to hit the minus button just to change the X. And what it does is it freezes the screen for you, so it's actually taking a picture. Now, the idea here now is that you move the X and you move the Y, and you put the crosshairs where the actual pellet landed. So what we're going to do now is we're just going to move the X. I'm going the wrong way, I need to go the other way. So I'm keeping pressing it. If I keep and press and hold, you keep pressing it. So you notice that the picture, I'm actually moving the rifle around here, and the picture is staying exactly where it's supposed to be. And then, OK, I need to do the Y now, so which way do I need to go? I need to go the other way, I need to go up. So what I'm doing now is I'm putting the crosshairs over where the pellet hit. So keep pressing. Nearly there. That will do for us. Click OK, and then we'll come through. You notice now the camera is allowed, it's taken off that freeze frame. We'll come in, we'll save. Yes, and save that. Now we're good to take another shot and see what happens. And again, this is quite difficult doing this off a laptop screen. There we go. Not too bad. Considering I'm doing this all off a laptop screen, obviously, when you're doing it yourself, it's much, much easier to do when you're looking through the sight. So that's basically how you two-shot group to do that. But hopefully you get the idea on how that works. And again, what we'll do is we'll just go into IR mode just to show you. So now we're in IR mode. And again, we'll just do a bit of a focus. And we'll take another shot. We'll go for the top one. Not too bad. Alright guys, so it's dark, very dark. There's no moonlight at all, and I'm using my Sony AX53 camcorder, which has got an IR light, and this is why you can see me in green, and you can probably just make out the IR on the Pard 08 here. So I'm going to split the image here and show you what you actually see. So this is live, real-time, 1080p imaging coming out of the Pard. So I'm looking down at my targets down at 25 meters in the range. I've got picture-in-picture on. I don't know if it will come through or not, but I've got the HW100 bullpup. So let's just take a few shots here. And we'll zoom in. So we'll just come and zoom in a little bit. Take another one. And you can see the quality is not too bad at all. What I'm going to do is we're just going to focus a little bit better. There we go, you can actually see the holes now. Not too bad at all. I'm going to change the IR levels as well so that you can see what effect that makes. So we're in IR1 at the moment. IR2 a bit brighter. IR3 a bit brighter still. IR4 switched off. And IR1. Like I said, this is good out to 150 to 200 meters. I've done this quite a few times. So I'm going to go down to the bottom of the range. Yep, down there. I've got some metal ducts out there. Yay! Die, ducky, die. We'll go again. Let's just change the focus a little bit. Yeah, absolutely brilliant. And that's what you're looking at there, is the actual 1080p footage, pitch black, using the onboard IR from the Pard 8.
Okay, so we're back. Good, isn't it? I love it. You know, like, this is the bit where I do the summaries and you're sitting there going, Steve, is it any good? Smile. Yes, I absolutely love this. ATN, goodbye. There you go, you can stop the video now if you want. Basically, I think it is an amazing piece of kit. Let me go through some of the pros for you. The pros. The size
of it is titchy compared to the ATNs or the Yukons. It is beautiful. The fact that it runs off an 650 battery, which I've got loads of with my torches. Just carry a spare, pop it in, and the battery lasts for absolutely ages. The quality of the video, not only what you see through the 800 by 600 screen in here, but the actual proper, and I'm going to say it again, ATN, proper HD video. It is amazing quality, even in color and in black and white when it's in night mode. Fantastic. I just can't sing its praises. I did a whole video series on the ATNs on how shoddy that was. This just works absolutely brilliant. The fact that it's a day scope and at a click of a button, it's a night scope. Yeah, awesome. I really, really like that. The fact that you can get this with a built-in rangefinder as well. Yes, it's going to cost you an extra 200, 300 pounds, but you can get it. And it's about the same size as well. Awesome. I think that might be the one that I'm going to go for. Obviously, then you've got all of the facts that it's a computer system in here, so you get all the benefits of that. As they update the software, they create new versions, they give you updates like picture-in-picture. I found out what that does. If you use picture-in-picture, the main part of your screen is your normal 6.5 zoom, but then it puts a little picture up the top and shows you what you've got on your main screen, but at 13 times zoom, so you can actually see the target as a normal and zoomed in at the same time. Pretty damn cool. Yeah, really nice. Yeah, there's just so much to rave about this. The IR torch in it is fantastic. In fact, with this, anybody with air guns, you are not going to need an external torch. It is awesome in its own right. It's like picking up qualities even in sort of semi-dark where there's a bit of moonlight. You hardly need the actual IR torch on there. So awesome. The fact that they give you all of the rail systems on it as well, brilliant. They give you Picatinny and they give you the dovetail stuff as well. Absolutely fantastic. However, there are some downsides, and I will always tell you the downsides. You know I do. Okay, price. Yeah, it's a tad expensive, but I'll tell you what, if you're looking at a Yukon, or you're looking at an ATN, or you're looking at the parts, they're all around the same price. Which one do you go for? This one, absolutely. I think it's brilliant on there. There is another downside as well. You only get the 2 zooms. 6.5 zoom or 13. There's no in the middle where you can go up to 7 or 8, 9, 10. No, you get the 2 zooms of that. That is a bit of a downside, but you know what? You don't need all those zoom levels. It's very off-putting when you've got them all, having to refocus all of the time. There is a downside. The focus wheel up here is very, very loose. Now the ATN, it was really tight. This is really loose, which means when you're touching the buttons, it's so easy to knock the focus out, but it's so easy to put it back again. So that's minor. The reticles that they give you, there is not that many reticles, and certainly only 2 colours as of September 2019, which you got red or yellow. But you know what? They will probably update that with a software update for you and give you more colours and more reticles. Again, minor downside. All right. It hasn't got a ballistic calculator in it like the ATN, where you put your pellet weights in, you tell it what range, and it moves the crosshairs for you. But you know what? It's a computer just the same as the ATN is. Who's to say they're not going to do it? And you know what? All the time I've got the ATN, I never use it anyway. It's a great gimmick, but nobody bloody uses it. So yeah, what the hell? Yeah, that will probably come. I wouldn't put it past them. The Wi-Fi app is a bit pants. They actually don't have their own Wi-Fi app. They point you to this, I can't remember what it's called, but it's a proprietary Wi-Fi app that you can connect any camera to and then live view using the Wi-Fi settings in here. It's pants, it really is. It works, but it's pants. But you know what? It's a nice little gimmick. Not many people will use that. The suction cup. comes off way too easy. I've lost it twice already. So yeah, that comes off. But I'll tell you what, most of the time you probably won't even use that. It goes on fairly easy, but it just comes off. Yeah, I can't get on. But yeah, it comes off fairly easy. That's another downside in it. One of the nice little positive sides as well, which I've totally forgotten, is it comes in this lovely little case as well in there. So really, really nice. Instructions are not very good. They tell you what the buttons do, but don't tell you how to use the system. Like, for example, it doesn't explain in here how to two-shot zero. Interesting. They give you USB on here. Now, in terms of the USB as well, there are some reports out there that I've heard, certainly on Ergonology, that you should not use this port here, the mini USB, to charge the 18650 battery in here. Apparently, there's quite a few reports of people having problems. I'm not sure about that. If you want to be safe, take the 18650 battery out and charge it up separately and then plug it in. But what I think the problem is basically they're saying that whenever you try to charge up through here, there's that perhaps if you've got a crappy 18650 battery in it, it can cause problems and start damaging the battery, maybe doing things to the unit itself. However, if you want to transfer data on and off, then you can either put the USB cable in and transfer it that way, or take the SD card out. So if you're worried about that, if you've not got good 18650 batteries, take the battery out, and to be honest, I'd recommend you do it anyway, because your charge is going to be faster. Take the battery out, charge it externally, and when you want to transfer data in and out of this, then basically take the SD card in and out. But really, what do I think of it? I think this is absolutely fantastic. I am getting rid of my ATN HD because I've got no use for it because of my 4K, and my 4K I am seriously considering getting rid of, selling on eBay, and getting one of these, but in the laser rangefinder version. Absolutely awesome. So I don't think I really could sing any more praises of it. It's probably the most enthusiastic I've been of any piece of equipment. The buttons can be a little bit tricky to get used to, but you get used to them after a while. I'd love to know your thoughts. Have you got one of these? Have you got the PARD? Have you got the laser rangefinder version? Let me know. What do you think of it? Do you like it? What's the video quality? Have I missed anything? Is there something else you'd like to add on there? I would love to know. And if you haven't already, hit that subscribe button, check the channel links down in the video description, and I'll see you on the next video.